Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session of our webinar. It's amazing to have you all here. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking our time to be here. We really appreciate. Thank you for sticking with us from the very first series 1 to and now in series 3. Thank you. So quickly, let's dive right into today's session. Yes, this is Cedro Royal. My name is Theosi Jeanette Fauye, and I am the Human Resource Manager for Cedro Royal. For people who are meeting me for the first time, yes, and I will be walking you through this session. Apologies for that, and I'll be walking you through this session. So yes, we'll be very fast. So we are done by 12, and we do not take up too much time. So yes, the check-in question, where are you joining us from? And on a scale of 1 to 10, rate your understanding of job-ready skills, which is what we'll be discussing today. So yes, you can just use the chat box and tell us where you're joining us from. Are you in Nigeria? Are you not in Nigeria? Where are you joining us from? We'd really like to hear from you. So you can use the chat box to tell us where you're joining us from. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your understanding of job ready skills? Okay? Yeah, thank you. Okay, so yes, now we'll be looking at how to break into the job market in 2026. Experience of all. Yeah, so today's series we'll be looking at building job ready skills. For the series 1, we looked at entry pathways into the job market. We looked at internship, volunteering, graduate assistant, graduate trainee, etc. For series 2, we looked at how to craft a CV that is job ready. And for series 3, we'll be looking at building job ready. Say, okay, yes, I am fine. Okay, so yes, welcome. Today's webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Like I have said earlier, about Royal. So we are a focused organization to provide services in human resource, agriculture, solar solutions, and many more. Please give me a minute. I think you can't see my screen anymore. So I will just be sharing my screen. Okay. Perfect. So I think you should be able to see my screen now. Yes. So like I was saying, Cedro Royal is a people-focused organization. We provide services like human resource services, which is what I am doing, agricultural solutions and solar solutions, and lots more. So we are a multi-venture. We are into so many aspects of services. So yes, what are the learning outcomes for today's series? One, by the end of today's series, you should be able to have gotten clarity on job ready skills. Like, what are those skills that are job ready skills? You should have insight on how to show that you actually do have those skills, and practical guidance on how to build those skills. Okay. Now, who is this webinar for? Fresh graduate NYSC, members, job seekers with little or no experience, career switchers, and those returning to the workforce after taking a break. Okay. So let's dive right into what we have today, the reality of today's job market. The reality of today's job market. So yes, under this, we'll be looking at why degrees alone is no longer enough. We'll also be looking at what employers really look for in either your CV or in you as a person. And we'll also be looking at skills versus certificates. Skills versus certificates. So let's dive right into that one after the other. So why are your degrees alone not enough any longer? One, academic qualifications are important, but they are not sufficient, and that is just the honest truth. Yes, they are important, but that alone are not sufficient. And we have a lot of people now who what they studied in university is completely different from what they are doing now. So academic qualification alone is no longer enough. Then employers need candidates that can perform tasks efficiently, not just you saying you can do those tasks, but you should be able to perform those tasks efficiently. So that is why your degree alone would not really take you that far. Then real world skills often outweigh grades, and which is true. A lot, except the job is specific to maybe having 2-1 or having a certificate in a particular um, field. Oftentimes, we look at your skills over your certificate, which is very true. Over your grade, over your certificate. What do you have to offer is what we actually look at. Now, let's move straight into the second one, what employers really look for. And I think I've mentioned that ability to work in teams and communicate efficiently. You need to be able, communication is very important, so you need to be able to communicate effectively, efficiently, and clearly. Avoid assumptions, avoid I thought situations, avoid that a lot. Be able to communicate efficiently. If you're not clear on something, ask questions, and you should be able to work in team. Teamwork is actually very important. Say teamwork makes dream work, right? So teamwork is actually very important. Then the second thing we look at or we look out for as employers is problem solving and critical thinking. Problem solving skills. How do you tackle situations at hand? Do you let it overwhelm you and you end up passing aggressions to your team members, or do you stand in the gap and think, okay, if this is happening, what can be done to solve it? Problem solving and critical thinking are very important to us as employers. Then adaptability and willingness to learn. We are not saying you should come in at 100%, but you should be able and willing to learn. Take corrections. Very, very, very important. Be able to learn. Constructive criticism is not a bullet at your character or at your person. It's just a way of saying, oh, you're doing this, okay, but I think if you do this way, you will be able to do more. So constructive criticism should be taken not personally, not it personally. Then skills versus certificate. Certificate shows knowledge, skills show capability. Yes, the certificate shows that oh you went through a certain training, you learned a certain thing. It shows that you have knowledge in that thing. But your skill shows that you can actually do that thing you have gone to learn, which is very important. Employers value skills, demonstrable skills, skills that you can show, skills that you can not just say, oh, I have this skill, but you can work using those skills. We value that over your certificate or any of those things. Then skills improve your performance. Certificates do not guarantee it, and that is just true. Your skills improves your performance, how you perform, how you behave, how you tackle certain things. Your skills improves your performance. Okay. So yes, let's move straight. Now, what are job ready skills? You've been saying job ready skills, job ready skills. What are these job ready skills? Okay, that is what we'll be looking at now. Okay, job ready skills. We'll be looking at the definition of job ready skills. We'll be looking at soft skills versus technical skills. I'll be looking at why both of them are important. Okay, so now what are these job ready skills? These are practical ability needed to perform tasks efficiently or needed for you to perform effectively at work. Now, these are skills that you need as a person both in your interpersonal relationship, in your work relationship. These are things that will help you communicate effectively, that will help you work it effectively, and will help you meet your performance targets. Now, they include both soft and technical skills, which we'll be looking at next. Your job ready skills can be soft skills and they can be technical skills. Now, your job ready skills are focused on results. They focus on results, not just the knowledge of it. They focus on the results you get from doing them. Okay. Now, soft skills versus technical skills. Let's look at that. Now, what are soft skills? We have example of soft skills like communication, teamwork, adaptability, your attitude, your work attitude, etc. These are soft skills. Now, what are technical skills? Technical skills are skills that are specific to a job. Let's say, for instance, now you are a UI UX designer. You know your technical skill. You should have a very sound knowledge on designing and all those things for software engineers, back end engineers, front end engineers, for data analysts. You know there are skills, there are certain skills that you must have. For data analysts, you must be able to work with Excel, Power BI, Tableau, Python, etc. For um, front end and back end engineers, you know the softwares you need to work. So those are skills those are the technical skills. Okay. Now both of them are actually very, very important, and I will tell you why. One, technical skills will allow you to complete your tasks. Yes. Let's say you're a data analyst and you don't know how to work with Excel, you don't know how to work with Tableau, you don't know how to work with Power BI, or you're even as a data analyst, you need to be able to have some level of presentation skills, right? And communication skills, because you need to communicate your results. So your technical skills will allow you to complete your tasks. Yes. Then your soft skills will allow you to communicate your results. Now you see why both of them are actually very important. Let's say you're given a task as a data analyst to, carry out a data analysis on a company and find out why employees are leaving after 3 months. Now you've done it and you realize, oh, the salary is not enough, or they complain about salary, or they complain about the working hours, they work overtime and nothing is being done. They complain about some maybe their direct supervisor giving them some kind of, always finding fault in whatever they do. Now, those are things that, okay, they complain about. Then you found out that a larger percentage of them, their problem or their major concern was working hours. They tend to work overtime and they do not like it. That's why most of them leave after 3 months, 6 months. Now, your technical skills have made you find out that, okay, this is why your employees are leaving after 3 months. What happens next? Your soft skill comes in communication. Communication will allow you to be able to present this result or communicate this result to your stakeholders and tell them that, okay, we have found out why this is happening, and this is why your employees are leaving after 3 months. Okay, so like I was saying, your technical skills allows you to complete the tasks, while your soft skills allows you to communicate the results. So that is why both of them are actually very, very important. Let's move on. The skills that your employers want. What are the core job skills that we want as employers? And we have communication, we have teamwork and collaboration, we have problem solving and critical thinking, we have adaptability and your work attitude, and we have your digital readiness. We are going to be taking this one after the other. Now let's talk about communication. Communication at work, how you speak, how you learn, how you listen. Those are communication skills. Now let's look at communication at work. Communication is key. Communication is very important, like the picture in my slide clearly shows. Please, if you can't see my slide, you can just use the chat box to tell me you can't see it, and I'll try to figure out why that is happening. Okay. So communication skills at work, we have the verbal, the written, and the professional communication. And what this means is, how do you speak? Do you speak clearly? Do you speak confidently? Some people are saying the right thing, but they are not even sure of themselves. They're not sure of what they are saying. So how do you speak? Do you speak clearly? Do you speak confidently in meetings? Being confident is different from being rude, right? So yes, they are different. So you need to be able to know when you're speaking confidently and when you're feeling big, right? Speak clearly and speak confidently in meetings. Those are very important verbal skills that we look at as employers. Then email writing is very, very important. How do you write? Do you proofread what you've written before sending it out? Are there typos? Are there a lot of typos? Yes. Humans make mistakes, yes, but as much as possible, minimize your mistakes. That is very important when you're trying to build your written communication skill. Writing reports, writing email, sending messages should be done professionally in a workspace. Now we're going to be looking at listening and clarity. Active listening. Some people are hearing you, but they are not listening to you, or they are listening to you and not hearing you. I don't know how to put that. But they hear you speak, but they do not really get the message. They do not really get what you are trying to, tell them or communicate to them. Now, it is very important that you are an active listener, especially in a workspace, because as your employer, I do not want to be repeating your tasks over and over and over and over again, telling you to do this. And after an hour, I tell you to do the same thing. Then after an hour, I tell you it's actually very discouraging. So you need to be an active listener, listen actively, follow instructions. If you're not clear on something, ask for feedback. Ask questions for clarity when needed. Okay. Now, workspace examples of these skills in a work setting. One, presentation of ideas to team. You might have a very good idea, but how do you present it? How do you communicate it to your team members? Very, very important. How do you write project report or project updates? You worked on a project and you have to give a report to a stakeholder in your company. How do you write this report? Do you just go to your Google Doc and just put the heading? Let's say the project was, let's use farmers for example, bean sales in 2025. You just put bean sales in 2025, then you write all the whole story on that. There's no structure to it. There are certain structures to writing reports. And for companies, most companies always have a template that you can follow. So if you are not even sure on how to go about the written report, you can ask people that have been in the company even before you joined. Ask them if there's a template for writing. If there's one, ask them for the one they used and the feedback they got. Please always ask for feedback if you're getting a template from a fellow employee, so you do not make the same mistake and get the same feedback as they got. Okay, so your presentation, how do you present your ideas, and how do you write your reports on projects or ideas that you have carried out. Those are workspace examples. Now we're looking at teamwork and collaboration. For those just joining us, we are currently going through um, job ready skills. What are those job ready skills that we as employers look out for when hiring? And we've talked about communication, which is what we just finished. Next, we're looking at teamwork and collaboration. After that, we'll be looking at problem solving and critical thinking. We'll be looking at adaptability and work attitude. I'll be looking at your digital readiness. Okay. So I'll be very fast. I want us to be out of here by 12, so we do not take too much time. It's supposed to be 11 to 12:30, but I'm trying to see how we can minimize time for people who are at work or busy doing one thing or the other. Okay. So teamwork, yes, teamwork is actually very important. Like I said earlier, teamwork makes dream work, right? So your teamwork and how you work effectively amongst your team member is very important. Now, working with different people. It's no secret that in an organization there are people there are different human beings with different temperaments, with different characters. The way you communicate to Mr. A and might seem fine with him, you try communicating that same way with Mr. B and he's getting speaking offense or not just buying the idea or liking your tone or something, right? So you need to be able to work with different people. You need to be able to work with different people. For people just joining us, this meeting is recorded. This meeting is recorded. So yes, working with different people. Um, Collaborate effectively with your colleagues from diverse backgrounds. Yes, especially in Nigeria, where we have people from different tribes, people from different religions, you need to be able to respect each other's religion. I'm not forcing you to be a Christian because I'm a Christian, and I will not speak bad about Islam because I am not a Muslim, right? Do you get that? So there should be mutual respect, and there should be respect for religion, for tribe, etc. Nigerians are very sentimental, so just something you just say and you maybe take it as a joke, they might take it very seriously. So learn to work with people from different diverse backgrounds or different backgrounds, different tribes, different religions. Respect people's perspective. The way I see things might not be the way you see it, right? So respect each other's perspectives and their roles. Most companies have hierarchy, right? So respect your direct supervisor, respect whoever is above you, regardless of whether you're older than them or they're older than you. If you have a master's and they have just a BSc, mutual respect is actually very, very important when working with different people. Okay. Then accountability and reliability. Can I rely on you? Can I give you a task and be confident that you will get it done regardless? Or do I give you a task and I have to, this person might not do it. Let me just go and have a backup plan. So how reliable are you? How reliable are you is very important in teamwork and collaboration. Teamwork is everyone in the team is working, not a certain set of people are working and other are not doing anything. That team would not last long because eventually the people that are doing the bulk of the work will get tired and they will decide, okay, for this project, let me relax and see what this set of people will do. And eventually they do nothing and the whole team, just goes down. So yes, once you are assigned a task in a team, please ensure you complete your task. Ensure you complete your task because it will help you in completing your team in completing the entire project that has been given to you, right? So how dependable and how responsible are you in group work? Are you part of the people that actually actively participate, or are you part of the people that just leave it for the others? Hmm? Handling conflicts professionally. Yes, we are all humans. Offense is almost inevitable, but how do you handle it when that comes up? Do you address the issue respectfully, or do you escalate it and start throwing punches? How do you handle conflict within your team? And if you're peradventure you are the team leader, how do you handle conflicts amongst your team members? Let's say Mr. A and Mr. B are having issues and they come to report to you, and you are friends with Mr. B. Do you automatically side Mr. B, or do you listen to both sides and stay on a neutral ground and address the situation? Or do you, because you're closer to one person or because the other person has offended you before, you just take sides automatically? Always learn to listen to both sides of the story before taking a decision. And as much as possible, try to be neutral. As much as possible, try to be neutral. Okay. Now, problem solving. Problem solving, very important. I was at an interview one time, and the person interviewing me, it's been a while, and the person interviewing me said, as an employer, we're having a conversation basically. It was more like a conversation than an interview. So he was like, as an employer, you employ people to solve a problem for you. You do not employ people out of sentiment or out of you just want to be generous or charity. That you are employing people to solve a problem, not because you cannot necessarily solve that problem, but because you feel okay, you are able to like afford someone else doing that while you focus on other things. So, as an employer, we actually want you to be able to solve the problem for which we employed you. Problem solving, very important. Now, thinking through the problem. That is how to solve a problem effectively. Think through the problem. Like the image on my screen shows situation, option, choice, act, and evaluation. You need to evaluate the situation. You need to know your options, the choices you have, then you need to act. Then after acting, still evaluate the situation and find out if this step you took actually did solve the problem. So yes, think through the problem, analyze the situation before acting. Always analyze your situation or whatever situation you have to solve before acting. Consider multiple solutions. Like my picture here says options, choices. There are lots of options. So consider multiple solutions. Consider, okay, if I take solution A, what are the pros, what are the cons of solution A? If I take solution B, what are the pros, what are the cons of solution B? Always consider multiple solutions before choosing one, and also look at the outcome, right? Then taking responsibility. If you decide to go with solution A and it goes wrong, please always own up to your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your successes, and move on. Do not try to pass blames or shift blames. Always learn from your mistakes, learn from your successes also. Then consider your tasks and decision. Consider the tasks and decisions. Okay, own your tasks, own your decisions, own your tasks, own your decisions. Then showing initiative, not waiting to be told. Exactly. You need to own the situation. You don't need your supervisor, except the situation requires that. But you don't necessarily need your supervisor to come and tell you, okay, this is the problem we have on ground. Okay, do this, do this, do this. Own the situation, right? Do not wait to be told. Be proactive, be proactive, be thinking ahead. Once there's a problem, be thinking of a solution. Be proactive. That just shows some kind of what to your employer. Then suggest ideas, suggest improvements. Okay, this is how we've been doing things normally in this company. Okay, why don't you try it this way and see if we'll get better results, right? Always make suggestions. That's where your communication skills come in. You have an idea, how do you communicate it? Always show improvement, bring ideas, bring new initiatives, bring new projects, bring new things that can be done. Adaptability and work attitude. Your adaptability. How fast do you adapt to a new environment? Are you the kind of person that wants to switch jobs? You're taking 4 or 5 months to finally settle in, and then how fast do you adapt to situations? Okay. Yes, openness to learning and to change. Embrace new tasks, embrace new processes, stay willing to acquire new skills. You must be open, you must be willing to learn, you must be willing to adapt to changes. Change is one thing that is constant. So you must be willing to learn, you must be willing to adapt to changes, handling feedbacks and challenges, accept constructive criticism positively. I think I've mentioned this earlier. Accept constructive criticism positively. Now, there are some feedback that are not really constructive, they're just meant to harm you emotionally. But once you notice that, oh, this is a constructive criticism, truth be told, whether constructive or not constructive, sometimes criticism or feedback is not always easy to take in, right? But try to stay open, try to learn from, okay, put yourself in this person's shoe. What are they trying to say? What are they trying to point out to you? Accept it positively. At that point, it might not sit well with you, but later on, think back on what the person has said. You pick a thing or two from what that person actually said. Okay? Then adjust approach based on guidance. Adjust your approach based on guidance. Pardon me. Okay, I wanted to be sure you all can still hear me. Adjust approach based on guidance. Then let's look at workplace flexibility. Workplace flexibility. Adapt to shifting environments. You might be in a company where they do change your director or your supervisor or your direct manager, etc. You need to be able to adapt to changes. Let's say I'm your manager now and I get moved to a different department or a higher position, and you are being assigned a new manager. You can't say because Taylor used to work like this, then this new manager have to work like this. No, we're different people, right? So the way I work, the way I want things done is different from the way another person will want his or her things done. So you need to learn who you're working with at that particular point in time and how do they like their things being done. Okay. So adapt to shifts, adapt to change, adapt to new environments, maintain productivity under changing conditions. Whether or not your manager remains the same or your manager is being changed, always maintain productivity. It is very important. Okay. Now, digital readiness, digital readiness. Yes, this is very important, and this is mostly for people who are into tech, the tech field, maybe data analysis, UI UX design, um, graphics design, even marketing. I think everything now is even AI or tech inclined, even human resource. I think it's all about talking, training, etc. is now AI inclined, is now tech inclined. It is there are a lot of softwares that you might need to learn as a human resource manager. So every aspect you find yourself currently now have a tech to it, has an AI to it, right? So you need to learn, be digitally inclined. Okay. Now, basic workplace tools. Like I said, regardless of what field you are in, you will use Google Doc, you use Word, you use Power presentation, PPT, PowerPoint presentation, you would use Excel to an extent if you are working with sheets or whatever. So those are basic softwares that you need to know or need to learn, whether entry level or whatever level you find yourself. Okay. So yes, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Those are skills you need to learn. And basic IT knowledge. You need to have basic IT knowledge. Then tools employers expect you to know. Tools aside the PowerPoint, aside the Word, aside the Google Doc, what other tools we expect you to know? Um, Zoom. Zoom is a meeting tool. This is Google Meet. So to an extent, we expect you to know Google Meet, Zoom, Google Calendar, we use Slack. Some companies use Slack. So we expect you to know those. So you just need to know what tools are my company using, then learn how to use those tools, learn how to work with those tools. Okay? Online professionalism, no matter how close you are to your supervisor or your manager, once you are in the workspace, you are in the workspace. Once you're in the work environment, they are your supervisor. Even if your supervisor or your manager is your husband or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, once you're in the workspace, they are your supervisor. Okay. So always maintain professionalism. Even if it's online, even if it is you have a WhatsApp group chat and you are sending messages there, be professional. Not just send anyhow messages. Okay, be professional. Okay, so be professional, like I have said. Then communicate appropriately in virtual settings. Communicate appropriately. Once you are not speaking, mute your microphone so you do not distract others that are talking. Or before speaking, use the raise your hand and get the attention of whoever is speaking at that time, right? So it is very, very important, whether online, whether physical, always maintain professionalism. Now, building skills without formal experience. How do you build the skills without formal experience? Volunteering. I think we went through this the other time. Volunteer, gain practical experience. You must not get paid at the initial stage. Learn, build yourself, gain a lot of certificates, as many as you can get. Gain the skill. Volunteer, internship or attachments, IT. If you don't apply to companies as an intern, apply to companies as a graduate trainee or a graduate assistant, just learn. That phase of learning might not be so sweet because you might not be making the money you want to make, but you're building yourself to get a better position. Okay. Then school projects, you can use school projects, you can use personal projects, leadership programs, volunteering, project based, etc. Whatever it is, just make sure you are doing something. Then even your everyday life experience, you're communicating with your family members, you're communicating with your church members, you're communicating with people wherever, your communication skills, that interpersonal skill, even your intrapersonal skill, how do you talk to yourself, right? So your everyday life experience also helps you build these skills. But most importantly, try to take up projects, volunteering projects, internship project, personal projects, whatever it is, leadership project, just take up something and always be learning. Now, how do you demonstrate this skill on your CV? It's not about writing effective communication or whatever you're writing on your CV. Once we see that, okay, and we say, oh yeah, you have the skill, and we move you to the interview phase, and you are not giving us anything relating to what you said you have. Let's say you said you know how to communicate effectively, and your interview, you're stammering or you are you're not showing that confidence or nothing, like it's just not working, then we know that we just wrote it for writing sake, right? So how do you demonstrate the skills on your CV? How do you demonstrate the skills on your CV? Turning activities into skills, right? Translate experience into specific skills. Use clear, actionable words. Don't not use generic words. I think we went through this when we were talking about CV last 2 weeks back. Do not use generic words in your CV, right? Especially when your bullet points or your job experience, you write human resource manager. Do not write manage recruitment. Let's use human resource manager, right? Do not just write manage recruitment and put full stop, right? I said this last 2 weeks. I said you need to state the situation, state what you did, state the results. Now, for the human resource, you can say something like manage recruitment, it, right? I can on few people. More okay. I think
I
I'm
think I'm
back
back
now.
now.
So
So
sorry.
sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Apologies for that. I'll just share my screen back now. Okay, the meeting is still being recorded for people who are just joining us. I'll be sharing my screen back now so we can continue from where we left off. Okay, perfect. So I hope you guys can still see my screen now. Okay, perfect. So we're back. Apologies for that. Nigerian network happened. So let's move on. We were talking about demonstrating your skills on your CV, how to demonstrate your skills on your CV, and we looked at turning your activities into skills. Next, we'll be looking at using results and actions, right? Show what you accomplished, not just what you did. The action you took, what results did it bring? So always show what you accomplished. Include measurable outcomes. Like I said, include percentages, include amounts, include the duration, the time consumed, etc. It shows that you actually did carry out this task you said you did, right? Then avoid vague skill lists like good communicator, if good writing skills, etc. Those are very generic phrases, so just try to avoid that as much as possible. Then focus on concrete evidence and examples. Use concrete evidence, use concrete examples. So I'll try to speed up more. Demonstrating your skills in your interview. After including it in your CV that you have certain skills and you get accepted or you get moved into the next phase, which is the interview phase, how do you demonstrate the skills during your interview? Okay. Now, answering skill-based question. Respond with clear examples. Showcase your ability. Structure your answers using the STAR method. That's the situation, the task, the action, and the results. That is the STAR method. The situation, the task, the action, and the result. Always use the STAR method when answering the skill-based question. Okay. The situation was to analyze. The situation on ground was employees were resigning as a data analyst. The task was to find out why they were resigning after 3 months. The action you took was you created a survey and had the employees fill it. Then the action there is creating the survey and having the employees fill it. The result there is you found out that, oh, they work overtime and they are not paid for overtime. That is why most employees leave after 3 months. That is the result. So always use the STAR method when answering skill-based questions. Use examples, share real life experiences. That's why it's not good to lie in your CV. Always share real life experiences of how you use certain skills, what are the results you got, what are the challenges you even encountered, how did you overcome them. Now, what interviewers listen for? What do we listen for? One, evidence of problem solving. Very important. To actually listen to see that, oh, you actually did solve the problem. You did not just tell us what the problem was, you solved the problem. And you actually did work with your team members, which shows your teamwork capability. Then you're able to communicate clearly. That's what we're listening for. How you even communicating, how you answering us, how you answering our questions are things we listen for. Then how were you able to learn? How were you able to adapt? What changes happened? How did you adapt to it? All those are things we listen for during interviews. Then common mistakes job seekers make. What are the common mistakes job seekers make? Listening skills without proof. They write listening skills on their CV or they say they have listening skills, but there's no proof of it at all. Right? Avoid stating skills without demonstrating them. If you don't have the skill, don't even state it in your CV. Avoid stating skills without demonstrating them. Okay? Only list skills that you have. Do not list skills you do not have. Because you might use that and get to the interview phase, or you might even get past and get to the job and then have to perform and you are just not meeting up to standard. So always avoid stating skills you do not have. Okay. Now another mistakes job seekers make is they focus only on certificate. They try to gather as much certificate as they can and they neglect the skills. It's not just the certificate, it is the skills, right? Like I said earlier, your certificate shows your knowledge, your skill shows your capability, what you are able to do. So it is not just the the certificates you have, the skills that you're supposed to have, do you have them? Mm? Employers look for practical capability, not just certificate or written skills. Then they ignore soft skills. Yes, they ignore soft skills. They ignore soft skills. Skills like communication, adaptability, teamwork. A lot of job seekers ignore that and focus on my certification score, my certifications I've been able to gather. Soft skills are also very, very, very important. Okay. So becoming truly job ready, or gradually coming to the end of this webinar. Becoming truly job ready. Becoming truly job ready. Your skill mindset versus your qualification mindset. Okay, focus on developing ability, not just collecting certificates. Now, this will tell you how ready you are for a job. Focus on developing ability, focus on developing your skills, not just collecting certificates and having hundreds and thousands of certificates. Prioritize practical competence and continuous improvement. Always learn, always keep learning. Keep learning, keep improving yourself. It is very important. Then continuous learning, yes, take opportunities to grow regularly. Not just say, okay, I mean, human resource manager and have been certified by CIPM, then you fit with CIPM certification, whereas there are other internationally recognized certifications that are even higher than CIPM, and you do not go for them, just sit with CIPM because you have gotten CIPM for Nigeria, right? So always take opportunities to grow. Do not be comfortable in one position. Then stay updated with industry trends and workplace tools. Stay updated with industry um, trends. Yes, your industry trends. Always stay updated with it. Sorry, I'm trying to confirm the recording is still on. Yes, then taking responsibility for growth. Own your professional development. Do not wait to be pushed. Do not wait to be cajoled. Do not wait to be told what to do. Always own it. Own your professional growth. Own your professional development. When you are telling your story, you should be, yes, you had assistance from other people, but majorly it was you that kept going. It was you that kept doing. You were not waiting to be captured. You were not waiting to be pushed. You just wanted to grow and improve yourself. Then set personal goals and track progress. Right? Set your personal goals and track your progress. Do not just set goals and not do anything. Set your goals and track your progress. Okay? That's taking responsibility for your growth. Now, what are the key takeaways? What are the key takeaways? What are those things? What are your checklists? What are those things you should do? First thing, what to start doing immediately. Identify the skill gap that you have. Our checking question said, how do you rate on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your job ready skills, right? That's your communication, your teamwork, how would you rate these skills? Now, what you need to start doing now is identify those skills that you do not have. Identify the skills that you have and begin building on them. Those ones you do not have, start building on them. And those ones you have, start improving them. Okay? Then practical soft skills in your personal or in your professional context, like soft skills, get a lot of soft skills. We're not just focusing on soft skills here, we're also talking about technical skills. Like I said, your technical skills get the job done. Your soft skills communicate your results. So they work hand in hand with each other. So build your soft skills, build your technical skills, then skills to intentionally develop. What are those skills you should intentionally develop? Your communication skills, your teamwork, your problem solving skills. Remember, you're being employed to solve a problem, not for charity, right? So your communication skills, your teamwork skills, your problem solving skills, your adaptability skills, how do you adapt to a new situation, to a new environment, very important. Your digital literacy, especially for growth in tech, how how much knowledge do you have? And there are general tools, like I said, your Google Doc, your Excel, your PowerPoint presentation, your Google Meet, your Zoom, your Slack, your Google Calendar. Those are things that you should know how to work with, whether or not you're in the tech field, because those are tools that you keep using over and over again. Okay. Then conclusion, we'll be taking questions. Yes, we'll be taking questions. I set up and stuff. What's the time now? 12:06. So apologies for the extra 6 minutes. So we'll be taking questions if there are any questions. If there are any questions, from the first series, we looked at entry pathways into the job market. It is on our YouTube page, so you can go back and watch it. Entry pathways into the job market for beginners, for career switchers, for people who are coming back after a break. We looked at volunteering, we looked at project-based, we looked at skill-based, we looked at internship, we looked at graduate trainee, we looked at a lot of entry pathways. So that video is on our YouTube page. I will be attaching the link to the YouTube page in the post-webinar mail. So you can go back and watch that video. For the series 2, we looked at how to craft a job-ready CV. Yes, we looked at CV, and that was like 2 weeks back. We looked at how to craft a job-ready CV. Unfortunately, we do not have the video for that, but it was a very insightful session. It was a very insightful session. We looked at crafting CV. What are those words you use? What are those words you should not use? What are those generic words? What are those words we want to see? I also attached a picture of a CV structure that you can, use as a template when designing yours. So that is in your mail. You can go through your emails to the picture, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. That was that for series 2. And now series 3, we looked at job ready skills. That's your communication skills, your teamwork, your adaptability, your digital readiness, your a lot of communication. Yes, I think I mentioned communication. So we looked at problem solving skills. We looked at all of those today. So for people who joined late or who missed this session entirely, like I said earlier, this meeting is being recorded. So we'll be adding the link so you can go over and watch it over and over again as many times as you want. Well, after going through all of that, if you still have questions, please feel free to send us an email or reach out to us. I will be glad to assist in any way we can. So that being said, are there any questions? Are there any questions? I would like to take one or two before we close the day. I would like us to be out of here by 12:15. Yes. Pardon me for the traffic. Well, actually, it's supposed to be 11 to 12:30, so I think we're still in time. But yes, I would just like us to wrap up on time so we can all get back to our busy schedules. So, yes, any question, any observation, any contribution? I got the feedbacks for people who filled our feedback form. I have gotten the feedbacks. Thank you for your feedbacks. Thank you for your words of encouragement. We really appreciate it. Yes, for the timing, our timing has always been 11 to 12:30, and we have tried as much as possible to finish by 12, max 12:15, but I don't think at any point we have gotten to 12:30. So we have always stuck to our timing, which I actually appreciate. Other feedbacks will be addressed, and we really appreciate that. So yes, any question before we call it a day? If you have any question, you can just unmute your mic or raise your hand. Okay, while that is happening, if there are any questions, so this is the team. We have Dr. Fakunde Aremu, he's the managing director. We have Aremu Feishayo, she is the finance manager. We have Toyosi Janet Fauye, which is me, the human resource manager, my humble self. We have Rubatu Abubakar, media and communications manager. We have Jessica Bityong, our executive coordinator, and we have Simbo De Feyushara, our business development manager. So this is the team. You can feel free to follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, and follow Cedro Royal on LinkedIn to get more information. Follow us on LinkedIn. We have, aside this human resource training, there are other webinars that might interest you in one way or the other, we have the Access to Finance webinar coming up very soon. So please follow us on LinkedIn and we will keep you updated on any webinar we have. So on the 24th of February, we are going to be having the final series of this webinar on the 24th. On the 24th, we'll be having the final series of this webinar. That's the series 4, and we're going to be wrapping up on the 24th. So please do not miss it. We promise it's going to be insightful. Might not take up to the time we have taken so far, but yes, it's going to be a very insightful session. So yes, I'll take that as we do not have any questions because I do not see any hands raised.